Hello there guys, welcome to the channel, Talking with Jay Spring. I'm your host Jay, giving you a video on the channel today. Hello guys and welcome to the Journey to X-Men Dark Phoenix YouTube series, and we are here today with another review for this YouTube series. And this is going to be for the film X-Men Apocalypse. Let's jump straight into it. X-Men Apocalypse. This was directed by Bryan Singer. This is an action fantasy sci-fi movie around 2 hours and 27 minutes long, and it was released on the 9th of May 2016. In the 1980s, the X-Men must defeat the ancient mutant named Apocalypse, who intends to thrive through destruction and bring that into the real world. Let's jump straight into the good points. Now, the good points about this movie is technically this movie is superb. It has great camera work with great music throughout, as well as locations. They really experimented with a lot of locations throughout the movie, which was great to see. Some really good lighting as well throughout the sequences, as well as editing with CGI moments, with slow-mo moments, special effects all throughout the movie. It was great to see. The story of Eric and his family, where they'd be killed off and everything, was very painful. One of the most connected parts of the movie. I could really see the rage and the upset and feel everything for that character. I think they've done a great job. This movie has them awesome cool fight scenes, especially with the finale, one of the most action-packed finales for an X-Men movie. I love the introductions to the new characters like Cyclops, Nightcrawler and Jean. I think they really got good introductions, bumping into each other and just interacting with each other. I think they've done really well with that. I love the end scene as well, where the X-Men are standing in their new X-Men costumes going into the next movie, X-Men Dark Phoenix. I'm super pumped. I'm looking forward to it. And just like all the X-Men movies, they have great performances playing the characters that we know and love. First off, we start with Evan Peters as Quicksilver. Had another slow motion, really Quicksilver type moment throughout the movie, which was done epically. They just sort of like went, okay, well, we've done it the first time, we're going to try and better that one. And they did in this movie. I really love him as Quicksilver and wanting to stand as Quicksilver. Looking forward to seeing him, hopefully, in X-Men Dark Phoenix. Then we had my favourite, James McAvoy, playing as Charles. Again, another top performance from him, flowing and joining chemistry with everyone in this movie, especially alongside him with Michael Fassbender as Eric. He has a very big role in this movie. A lot of it's about him and whether he's going to good, whether he's going to bad. He has a mixed story throughout, and I really enjoyed Michael Fassbender more in this movie than James McAvoy, which is a big statement because I absolutely love James McAvoy. But when they're on the screen together, they just really flow well. They've got this chemistry going on where they're on the good and the bad side. Whatever, they just flow so well together as well as with everybody else. Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse. I really enjoyed him. He had some really menacing, dark, really scary type figure throughout the whole movie as the bad guy. I think he played very well. There was some sort of moments where he come across quite cringy, but throughout the movie, majority of the movie, I found him as a great villain. Sophie Turner playing as Jean Grey. I really enjoyed her in this movie. She really started off really slow coming through the movie, and suddenly with the final scene we really get to see what we're going to look forward to in the next movie as well, in the Phoenix. I really enjoyed her. She came through a shell throughout this movie, and I liked the way they built her up. As well as alongside her, we have Ty Sheridan playing as Scott Summers, Cyclops. Really enjoyed him throughout the movie, and I felt he had a special part to play in this movie as well. Alongside him, we have Cody Smith-McPhee playing as Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler. I really enjoyed this version of Nightcrawler. I think this version was a lot better than the original Nightcrawler, which we got in X-Men 2. I really did enjoy this version of him. I found him more funny, I found him more relatable as human type, and very well portrayed. Nicholas Hoult as Hank and Beast never seems to disappoint me. I absolutely love him as this character. Olivia Munn as Psylocke. She was a new character throughout the movie, a bad version at that, and I really enjoyed her character and what she had to bring to this movie. On to the bad points. Now, the bad points about this movie is pacing is an issue with this movie. Right from the get-go, it starts off very slow. You're trying to understand things, and it's really hard to get into. And then once it does, the momentum starts going really good, and it sort of falls flat a little bit. Again, Raven and Mystique played by Jennifer Lawrence. I don't think it's actually Jennifer Lawrence. I do think it's the way they're portraying her. She's more Jennifer Lawrence in this movie than Mystique. And not only that, she's more good in this one than bad. And Mystique is a bad character. I don't understand what they're trying to do with her. In Days of Future Past, I really gave Jennifer Lawrence and Mystique character a lot of praise, and that was because of the way they showed her as this badass character. And again, they take that away from her. We want to see this blue crazy woman named Mystique, not Jennifer Lawrence on the screen 24/7, and that's what they did in this movie. Ben Hardy as Angel, I found him a bad point throughout the movie. I just didn't really connect with the character. I didn't really like the character at all, and also him knowing that he's from EastEnders as well really bugged me. I'm all for giving people chances, but really looking at him, I just couldn't imagine him as that character, and I just didn't really think he was a threat to the X-Men. Alexandra Shipp as Storm, I think she had a decent role in the movie. I liked her story in terms of connecting with Mystique, her being our idol and stuff like that. But I didn't like the fact that she was on the bad side. I still don't understand. Again, it's like they've got Mystique and Storm mixed up. They should be swapped over. Now, I know they're trying to build to that, and I understand they're doing something different, but this is a character which is good throughout, and I just don't understand what they did with this character. I just felt that the main storyline was too cliche for a superhero movie. It was about the bad guy being born, trying to destroy the world, and it just felt too much of a big cliche for the movie, especially coming from a big movie like Days of Future Past. They've done a whole different thing and really experimented. I felt this movie experimented technically, but not with the storyline. The directing of the movie was a big step down for me. From someone as good as Bryan Singer, I just really felt like this was a step down for me. The death of Havoc and Alex in this movie was an emotional one, but it lasted a whole 5 seconds. You see his brother crying and everything, it's all sounding emotional, and he suddenly gets up and they're like, come on, let's go. And it's like, didn't you give us time to mourn that death? It just felt like it weren't important enough. And even though he's been a character from First Class, it just didn't feel important. Another issue I had with this movie is using Logan and Hugh Jackman in this movie, playing in this movie. It just felt unneeded. Obviously, it was badass, him going through, slicing everyone up in that scene, but really, was it needed? They didn't really need that segment. I think that's probably one of the best segments, but I just don't feel like... It just feels like they're living off of Hugh Jackman now, and they really need to step it down and stop it. Love of Charles and Moira, I don't think that was utilised enough in this movie. Now, he gave her back her memories, so suddenly she remembers she kissed him, she cares for him, she loves him, and nothing happened. Now, if that was really, you just got your memories back and you remembered you loved someone, you'd want to hug him or you'd want to show some sort of emotion. So guys, it's rating time. Let's have a look what the critics had to rate this movie. We have Rotten Tomatoes giving it a 47%, IMDb giving it a 7 out of 10, and Metacritic giving it a 52. My rating for this movie is a 6 out of 10. That makes this movie a borderline good movie. Now guys, this movie was a big disappointment for me, coming from one of the best X-Men movies from Days of Future Past. That's why this one tends to have a lot of bad points from me, really, because I really expect them to try and still aim for that sort of level of movie, but they really didn't. It took a big down step. It still has some entertaining, obviously, action sequences and emotional parts throughout the movie. I just felt like the side of the storyline and the character things are key for me. They didn't really utilise it enough for me, and I felt like this had some big improvements to do. It's still no means a terrible movie like some people like to rate it, but for me it's still quite near enough bad, but still decent enough to watch. That's why I put it as borderline good. So guys, a 6 out of 10 borderline good movie from me. Don't forget to leave your ratings and opinions down below in that comment section for this movie, X-Men Apocalypse. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video where I talk about the movie Logan, a big movie which I'm super excited to talk about with you guys. If you enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up, lets me know you're enjoying the content, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for much more. We're on the road to 200 subscribers. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. Just reached over 150. Very grateful. And don't forget, if you've missed the journey so far, there'll be a link in the description, annotation at the end of the video for you guys, and a card above my head for the playlist, and you can view from X-Men 1 up until this point and enjoy the journey, as well as all the other stuff on the channel. Go ahead and check that as well. We've got a bunch of stuff already on the channel and a lot of stuff coming, so stay tuned guys. I've been me, you've been you, and I'll see you next time on Talking with Jay Springer.